guys, Jeff the Nature Guy, and I am in a really special habitat that I want to tell you about real quick. I'm in the Mojave Desert, but when you look behind me, you're probably thinking, wait a minute, how are you in a desert with all that green? It's a really unique area because there is a lot of green here. But before we get to that, let me tell you about a few things that you would expect to find in the desert, like this guy. You know what this is? Yeah, it's a type of cactus. It's called a branched pencil cholla. It's a weird name. But the cool thing is, look at these cool little branches, and I'll tell you, just like any cactus, you don't want to fall into it. You end up with a face full of spines, and that's never good. But obviously, this plant very well adapted to very dry environments. It soaks the water up into these succulent branches here. Great opportunity, of course, if you're ever stuck in the desert, to break into those and drink the water out of there. It's a real thing that you can actually do. Kind of cool. But what's really neat is, obviously, in this environment, there are animals that thrive in the desert, like the wild burro. In fact, I'm sitting right by some poo right now, right down here, of a wild burro, like a donkey. You guys have all seen donkeys. Believe it or not, they survive out here. They were brought here in the early 1500s by the Spaniards, and now are kind of wild. They kind of wreak havoc on the environment, but hey, nonetheless, they're neat to see, and they are pretty cool the way they navigate the terrain, and they can actually tolerate losing up to 30% of their body weight in water, which is just crazy considering us humans. If we lose 10% of our body weight in water, we have to go to the hospital. But they could do 30%, and the cool thing is they can replenish that 30% in just 5 minutes of drinking out of a nearby stream or a pond or what have you. Now, real quick, I want to bring you around and show you this green that I was telling you right back here. Look at this. This is actually ponderosa pine, and it's not something you usually find in the desert, but what's cool is right by there's a little stream that's trickling out of the mountains, probably snow melt. There may even be an underground river that their roots are tapping into. So you kind of got this little oasis out in the middle of nowhere that obviously these plants and animals have learned to thrive on. Really cool to see. And then last but not least, you turn even farther around. Look at this mountain structure behind us. Typical desert. You know, you got sands, you got your just barren landscapes out there. Just a spectacular place where all these different habitats kind of come together in one. And that's the cool thing about nature, guys. Get out there, see that nature, kind of learn about these habitats, and of course, see what you can find. There's wildlife and plant life teeming in places like this. Get out and check it out. And if you're wondering again, this is the Mojave Desert in South Nevada. Pretty cool stuff. Guys, until next time, I am Jeff the Nature Guy in the Mojave Desert. We'll see you real soon.